Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Setting the record straight.
I just don't understand what I did. I just own a dog and he messed up. My dog's paid for now.
The owner of the dog that mauled his mother and her boyfriend is telling his side of the story tonight.
It's a story almost too preposterous to be true. The FBI translator who runs off to the Middle East to marry the terrorist she was tracking from the Detroit FBI field office. Thanks for being with us for the news at 11. It's all true, and only now, after this woman returned to the United States and spent 2 years in prison, is a story coming out.
It really does read like something off the bestseller list. Mara McDonald live at the Federal Building downtown tonight, and that's where this story of international intrigue begins, Mara.
Devin Daniela Green had top secret clearance. She would come down here to the FBI Detroit field office every day and assist in tracking a notorious ISIS terrorist until the day she walked out of here and ran to the Middle East to marry him. This is Daniela Green today, out of prison, her face obscured for safety reasons. She refused to speak with CNN, who broke this story wide open, because she fears for her family's safety. Back in 2014, Daniela was assigned to the FBI's Detroit field office as a contract translator.
Every field office in the FBI has translators. There's a huge contingent here in Detroit.
Andy Arena is the former FBI special agent in charge of the Detroit field office, who now heads the Detroit Crime Commission. He did not know her or supervise her. Green was here using her German skills to help track this man. A known ISIS terrorist who happens to be a German national and rapper. His name is Dennis Cuthbert, but he goes by Abu Tahal al-Amani, and Green fell under his spell over Skype.
Can't make this up. I mean, you couldn't write a script for a television, for a Lifetime movie.
Green, who was married at the time, walked out of the Detroit field office, told her colleagues she was going to visit family in Germany, but instead flew to the Middle East and got into Syria and Cuthbert's arms, marrying him, a man who on video proudly held the severed head of an ISIS victim. Within days, Green realized her terrible mistake, sending a series of emails like this one, quote, "I am in a very harsh environment, and I don't know how long I will last here. But it doesn't matter. It's all a little too late." 30 days later, Green managed to get out of Syria and back to the United States, where she was immediately arrested. Court records show she cooperated fully with the FBI and was given a 2-year sentence. And only now is her story becoming public.
These guys are unbelievably adept at using social media to lure in people to be terrorists. So from that standpoint, they're very good at it. But I mean, to lure somebody into, romantically, I'm just stunned.
Back here live. So, those who know Green, what do they say about her? Do they think that she was a terrorist sympathizer? The answer is uniformly no, although they do say she was hopelessly naive. We are live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Yeah, it's a mind-boggling story, all right, Mara. Now to breaking news just in from Detroit's east side, where a 64-year-old man has been run over by a car and the driver took off. Tim Pamplin on the scene with an iCam. Tim.
Just arriving on the scene here, this is Van Dyke at Gratiot, Detroit's east side. There you see the 64-year-old man laying in the middle of Van Dyke there. They got him on the stretcher. He was riding his bike with his grandson. There's the gentleman's bicycle there. You see buckled up back tire. The vehicle, I was told, was heading northbound on Van Dyke here when he struck the elderly man, carried on going northbound towards Van Dyke and 94. Police had just arrived on the scene. They've just gone into the gas station here, trying to see if they can get some surveillance video of the vehicle that struck this man. If we get that, we'll bring that to you before the end of this newscast. That's the scene on the east side with an iCam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
All right, Tim. A dog owner setting the record straight tonight, insisting it was not neglect that led to the severe maulings of his mother and her boyfriend. Jermont Terry is live in Roseville tonight with his side of the story. Jermont.
Kim, the mother and boyfriend are still recovering at the hospital. They were seriously injured in this dog attack. And as you mentioned, the victim's son and owner of that dog is setting the record straight, insisting he did nothing neglectful. He was just simply trying to protect his family. This picture shows Suzette Langton and Bruce, the retriever pit bull mix, in much happier times. She's recovering in the hospital after Bruce attacked her and her boyfriend as they took him out of his cage.
She pushed him down onto the ground. He came back up and then he bit her.
Bruce clamped down on Robert's mom, forcing her boyfriend to jump in. Bruce then attacked the boyfriend.
Mostly the arms, and the boyfriend, like, he got a little bit in the ear, like a cut in the ear. Right.
And it turns out this was not the first time Bruce became aggressive towards Robert's mom. 3 weeks ago, the dog bit Suzette.
Right. So after he bit my mom the first time, I went to the store and I bought him a muzzle.
Robert says he and his mom agreed they did not want to have Bruce put down then.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, it's like a part of a family.
But this time, Suzette and her boyfriend were seriously injured, needing multiple surgeries. And now Robert could face charges, not just a ticket like last time.
No, I just don't understand what I did. I just own a dog and he messed up. My dog's paid for it now.
Bruce was put down after the second attack, but police say Robert did not do enough to prevent it. Now he worries if he'll be able to help in his mom's recovery.
Yeah, they're gonna come back here, and as long as I'm not in jail, I'll be taking care of them, so.
No, there is still an open investigation. We should point out that Bruce was quarantined for 10 days after that first incident in April. Sunday was the 11th day, and he simply attacked, and they still don't know why. Of course, we know that, as we mentioned, Bruce is put down, and now Robert is worried what will happen next. Reporting live in Roseville, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Okay, Jermont, the Detroit police officer who was shot in the head Sunday night tonight remains in extremely grave condition, according to Chief James Craig. Now, at the same time, there are new questions about why he was taken by paramedics to Beaumont Oakwood Hospital in Dearborn. If you look at the map, you can see there are two other hospitals closer to the shooting scene, Sinai Grace and Henry Ford, which is a level 1 trauma center. Now, the ambulance company stands by its decision to go to Beaumont. They told us even though Sinai Grace was closer, the traffic at the time would have made it a longer trip. Chief Craig has an entirely different concern.
But here's my commitment. A police officer shot in the city of Detroit, they need to go to one type of trauma center, level 1. That's what I expect. That's what I'm going to demand.
Now, the Detroit Fire Commissioner is opening an investigation into this issue and the way the wounded officer's care was handled.
A rideshare driver's terrifying experience caught on camera after passengers stole money from his center console. The driver ran after them, and then they pulled out a gun.
You got a gun?
Yeah, what? Nigga, you gotta go, nigga.
Well, the driver, who does not want to be named, says he was attacked by the two men Friday night outside a party store on Shane near Jefferson. And when those shots rang out, the driver had only one thing in mind.
I hope I can make home my parents or my family, and, you know, I just wanted to get back to my family. I got home and told my wife, and she told me no more down in Detroit after dark.
So take a good look here. I mean, it's kind of hard to see, but if you recognize either of the men in this video, please contact Detroit Police. Ballot counts are still rolling in from all over Metro Detroit after today's election. In Macomb County, the Centerline Public School bond proposal was denied, with 52% of voters saying no. The New Haven Community Schools millage also failed, but Anchor Bay's school bond proposal passed with 65% of support.
Let's move to Oakland County. The $120 billion West Bloomfield Schools bond proposal passed there. The 10-year renewal of the Lyon Charter Township Library millage was also approved with 56% of the vote.
And in Wayne County, the millage renewal for Melvindale Northern Allen Park Schools passed with 63% of the vote, and a millage increase proposal for Lincoln Park Public Schools was approved with 53% of voters behind it. For detailed results, you can go to our website, clickondetroit.com. Well, he picked the wrong target and apparently the wrong day.
No, not today.
What this man did to get a beating that left him unrecognizable.
Also, you're going to see a dramatic rescue coming up. An officer dives into a pond to save the life of a child, and you'll see his heroic efforts from his point of view. Heather Ben.
Hey, Devin, after getting through today, we get one day of sunshine, really just to steel us for what's coming for the weekend. A very wet forecast going into Saturday, coming up in a few minutes.
They're fighting crime up in the air.
We are merely a patrol car in the sky with a much different vantage point.
From car chases to bank robberies to domestic violence calls.
Radio Air 1's with a chase.
These officers are chasing the bad guys and keeping you safe. I'll take you along for the ride next.
It's a vantage point you don't get to see. A crime-fighting mission from up in the air.
All right, so now they got him. They're putting him in the vehicle.
And tonight, the Local 4 defenders take you along for the ride. Probably don't even know they're there, but from parades and protests to criminals on the run, even rescuing residents with Alzheimer's who are lost. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office Aviation Unit has pretty much seen it all.
And tonight, in a rare opportunity, Local 4 defender Karen Drew gets us a bird's eye view on how these officers are keeping us safe and tracking down the bad guys. Karen?
According to the experts, one helicopter is the equivalent to 12 police cars on the ground. Because a chopper can see such a large perimeter, it can do so much more than just that one car alone. Now we know a chopper can obviously help in police chases, but it can do so much more.
March 2014, Oakland County Sheriff's Aviation Unit helps in a vehicle pursuit. Thanks to the eyes in the sky, they capture the driver on the run.
Radio Air 1's with a chase.
July 2015, Oakland County Sheriff's chopper aids in the tracking down of a bank robber in Auburn Hills. Whether it's a domestic violence case in Waterford,
He's got him down in the prone position.
or looking for a breaking and entering suspect in White Lake, Oakland County Sheriff's Aviation Unit is a pivotal player in crime fighting.
We listen to upwards of 30 different agencies, both fire and law enforcement. Very rarely is there nothing going on.
They even help fighting fires.
The firemen don't often have the advantage of being able to see from the top down and cannot always access certain areas of a structure fire where we can do so safely.
So what is it like patrolling from the air?
Flag.
The Local 4 defenders spent a couple days with these pilots to see firsthand.
I'll just take you over one of the lakes right now. You can see the what we can see versus what somebody on the ground can see.
That's Deputy Pilot Phil Heckman. On a routine flight, the chopper goes about 80-90 miles an hour, but can go up to 120 miles an hour. They cover all parts of Oakland County and help other agencies when needed. When they're up in the air, we get a call on a residential alarm.
So on those alarms, we can get there a lot quicker than a ground unit. Basically, get the aerial perspective of those alarms. We can check the roofs and we can check the outside structures.
We arrive and find it's a false alarm. We also check out a car accident.
It was at Long Lake and Middlebelt.
Within minutes, we arrive.
And you can see it right down there out through window. Yep. The white van and the unit right behind it.
Why respond to car crashes?
There's been a couple times in my career that car accident, individual has warrants, they'll run or flee from the scene.
All right, he's coming up to Columbia.
We all know choppers play a pivotal role in police chases.
Extremely dangerous situation. Essentially, somebody is driving a 10,000-pound weapon. And the idea of the airborne component is that we can have the officers on the ground slow the chase down, make it less dynamic.
Next, a possible domestic violence call.
Several 911 hang-up calls. I'm looking side street to see any movement. We're looking for a black male. I don't know clothing description yet.
Officers in the sky can save officers on the ground precious time in a search like this. In a matter of minutes, they get the person they're looking for.
All right, so now they got him. They're putting him in the vehicle.
Sheriff Bouchard says the chopper is an invaluable resource.
There might be parades or protests or things, and people think we're up there watching the protest. We're watching their safety.
The Dream Cruise and summertime concerts are a major concern for Bouchard.
We have a large crowd over a very large area, so only the helicopter can maintain that kind of operational visual platform.
Preventing crime or chasing it. Oakland County Sheriff's Office is helping in ways most don't realize. Karen Drew, Local 4 Defenders.
Like I said, we don't even think about them being there.
You're right.
Yep.
They are there. All right. Here's a look at what what investigator Kevin Dietz is working on for tomorrow night.
A cop car is stolen, while a woman is handcuffed in the back.
She is in a patrol car. She's in the back hand.
Now it's a kidnapping.
It's car have a weapon in it.
The shotgun and a rifle. And a high-speed chase is on.
Struck a patrol car, still going west.
Just a heavy six approaching Rosewood.
The Defenders take you on a wild ride tomorrow night at 11.
Before we get to weather, let me quickly apologize to all the West Bloomfield taxpayers who probably just had a heart attack. It was not a $120 billion bond.
You're right.
Passed.
We apologize.
Things are fine in West Bloomfield, but not to that degree. $120 million.
Yeah, you probably gave some people a heart attack.
Yes, but the important thing is it did pass. We got that part going. So.
All right, so Ben, we're looking forward to some better weather, but not so immediate that it's going to happen.
Well, tomorrow we're going to see some improvement, and then that goes away pretty quickly.
Just little doses.
Yeah,
little snippets.
Just enough to keep us sane, and then things get soaking wet again.
Speak for yourself.
Well, 4 Live Radar showing a few sprinkles out there tonight. We're just about done with the raindrops, at least in the short term. You can see a couple little blips showing up, mainly south of 94 here. As these continue to move to the south, overnight we're going to gradually get these skies cleared out and start the day with a decent amount of sunshine tomorrow, but still the leading edge of that cloud cover is on the other side of the lake, so it's going to be pretty close to daybreak before we start generating that those clear skies. Temperatures right now 45 at Metro, and with the overcast conditions, these numbers not too far from each other, ranging from 42 in Pontiac to that 45 right now at Metro. The winds have calmed down. That's a good thing. Wind speeds right now only at about 10 to 15 miles an hour after gusting over 30 and close to 40 miles per hour in some cases earlier this afternoon. So things are improving in the short term as high pressure settles in. So tomorrow morning we will be seeing plenty of sunshine, and that's going to take us through the day. The not so good part is we're going to start out in the 30s in the morning, and in some cases mid 30s. Thank goodness those winds have died down, so we're not talking about wind chills for the first week in May. Here's the rain, the next batch of it that comes in early Thursday. This is going to start to get us just a little bit after the morning commute on Thursday, but watch this. As soon as that rain shows up, it is with us almost continuously through Thursday and Friday, and with that low being just off to our south and east and likely sort of curving back to the north and west, we're going to be in for it. In fact, I'm showing you one model run. This is sort of the worst case scenario, but it does have a stripe of significant rain across southeast Michigan. This is showing upwards of 3, possibly as much as 4 inches of rain. Now, that is going to be the worst case scenario. Likely it's going to be less than that, but it's definitely a situation we're going to be watching for that Thursday through Saturday stretch. Tonight, 38 in the city, mid 30s well outside of Detroit. And look at these high temperatures tomorrow. Impressive compared to where we were today. At least we're going to hit 60 degrees, and this is going to be one of the warmest numbers in our forecast, believe it or not. Some upper 50s once you get up towards M59, low 60s towards the state line in our south zone, slightly cooler out here towards Lake Erie. West zone temperatures will be in the upper 50s, close to 60 degrees tomorrow afternoon. And still a respectable number here in our north zone, and better than what we did today, mid to upper 50s, except near Lake Huron, where it's going to be the 40s for high temperatures. So numbers will start to fall as we get into that rain pattern, 50, 50, and 47. And those morning lows on Saturday starting in the upper 30s. So there may be a wet snowflake mixed in with those raindrops on Saturday, as if we don't have enough.
Well, you know the good thing about May snow, it typically doesn't stick around.
That's true.
Let's try and
it's just going to be mixed.
That's
shaken.
Let's find that. You're good. Thank you, James.
All right, Ben. All right, crawling in to commit crime. A burglar gets in through a doggy door, but the homeowner was even more surprised when she saw his face.
And apparently she had a need for speed. Just how fast officers say this woman was going down Woodward. Fast enough for a mugshot, I guess. Back with more in just a minute.
All right, welcome back. This Commerce Township woman arraigned today after allegedly driving more than 100 miles an hour on Woodward Avenue. Oakland County Sheriff's deputies arrested Brooke Summers Thursday after Birmingham police say they clocked her driving over 100 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone.
Pontiac's only high school will not be shut down as planned. The school district reached an agreement with the State Department of Education. It would keep Pontiac High School and also Walt Whitman Elementary Schools open. The schools were on the chopping block for not meeting performance standards.
The man who scammed Michigan's bottle return program will spend 36 months on probation, pay $400,000 in restitution, and forfeit his Pepsi stock. John Woodfill returned more than 10,000 cans and bottles from out of state, which is illegal.
Some amazing video out of Topeka, Kansas, where a police officer jumped into a pond to save a 4-year-old boy with autism from drowning. This was Sunday morning. The officer saw the child walking by himself near the pond. When the officer approached, the boy fell in, and the officer immediately dove in and brought him to safety. And of course, you're seeing this all from the officer's camera, so this is how it looked to him. The boy had wandered away from home, and tonight, all is well.
Oh, wow. A home intruder in East Tennessee got more than he bargained for when the homeowner grabbed a baseball bat to defend herself. The homeowner ripped off the man's mask and beat him with the bat, as you can tell there by this mugshot. He has the bruises to prove it, and he's now charged with robbery.
Well, you've heard the term cat burglar. Check out this video of a dog burglar. A robber caught on home surveillance cameras breaking in through the home doggy door. This was in Florida. Right, Bernie? It's always Florida. The homeowner told police she knew the man. He had done lawn maintenance for her in the past, and apparently had seen that when he was there, that there was a doggy door. He has now been arrested. Cameras everywhere, though, again. Yep.